Okay, this is piece 94, the screen with the Siege of Belgrade and a hunting scene. It is two images. On one side of the screen is a hunting scene. On the other side is a battle. So this is the battle scene. This is the hunting scene. It was made by the Circle of the Gomez family, or Gonzalez family, which is a unique way of saying that we're talking about a group of artists who are familial. And so we don't know exactly who in that family made it. The function of this screen is it displays the wealth of the Viceroy of Mexico. This is a very expensive thing to have made. And it also shows the bragging power of Spain. Spain was a part of the defeat of the Ottomans at the Battle of Belgrade in 1688, and they are showing this off here in Mexico, kind of like we're connected to them. And then it is used as a divider for a big room in the Viceroy's house. And what you're seeing here is just half of the screen. This is 6 panels. It was 12 panels originally. The context for this piece, and the reason probably why it's in our set, is because it shows all of the coming together of the different cultures of the world at this time. So this yellow star here marks Mexico City, and Mexico City was a part of, the Viceroyalty of Spain. It was a colony controlled by Spain. And it received from this other colony controlled by Spain, the Philippines, named after King Philip of Spain. Mexico was kind of the intermediary between the Philippines and Spain. So some goods would come from the Philippines to Mexico and then be shipped off to Spain. And some of the items that came into Mexico City was art from Asia. And this screen happens to be really influenced by Japanese art up here. And so Japanese art filtered down to the Philippines and was brought over to Mexico. And then this screen was ultimately taken to Spain, where it was cut in half. Half of it ended up in the museum in Mexico, and the other half is in a museum in Brooklyn right now. This context here shows us that this was one of the inspirations for this screen. This is a Japanese screen. It's called a byombo, and it was used to divide rooms. And you can see that this would be an inspiration. Pretty cool. This is another inspiration from Japan. This is called lacquerware. Lacquerware is when an artist takes very thin pieces of wood and then just paints them multiple times with lacquer, which is like a finish, and it dries hard, and then they paint it with gold. Lacquerware is made into drawers, dressers. It's very expensive. It's a high art. More context for this piece is that in Europe, there was a Habsburg family. Like it was cousins were ruling different regions of Europe. So here the red marks kind of the Spanish line of the Habsburg family. And so Charles II was from Spain, and he was in power when the Habsburg family kind of united together to fight the Ottoman Empire. They were so united that they really had inbreeding problems. And the genetics here of Charles II were described as genetics that would be seen from a child that was born from a brother and a sister. So the Habsburg family were very integrated, hoping to hold power in Europe. And one of the things they wanted to do was push the Ottoman Empire, which you can see here in green, the Muslim Empire, out of Europe. And right here is the city of Belgrade. And so it was in 1688 that all these Habsburg leaders united and fought here in Belgrade and won the battle. And so that is what they're bragging about in this screen. It was a big battle in Europe, so much so that a Dutch printmaker, Huyck, created this print from an engraving he made. I mean, it's very detailed. And this print would have made its way from the Netherlands to Mexico. And so at Mexico, we have the meeting of the topic, the siege of the Battle of Belgrade, with the type of art, the lacquerware, the biombo coming together. So this is an amazing piece that way. And then the other side of the screen is a marriage of the lacquerware, the screen idea from Japan with the topic of a hunting scene that would have come from a tapestry from Italy for the Medici family. So topic from Europe, form from Japan, made by Mexican artists in the city of Mexico. In terms of form, the Gonzalez family inserted this on their lacquerware, this mother of pearl inlay. So they cut out in the wood enough space to lay in this shell. And you can see big pieces of the shell here. Now, what would happen is that this screen, 12 sections long, it's 18 feet long in total. It would have had firelight glistening off of it. So it would have shone in the evening. Would have been pretty beautiful. And then in terms of content, you can see here, this is painted on tempera onto wood, but it is very, very detailed. This is an amazingly intricate battle scene. And when you look up close, it can be pretty horrendous because here are two heads on pikes here. Lots of detail, lots and lots of detail. Kind of monochromatic here in the fighting scene. Okay, on the content on the other side, the hunting scene, it's called pastoral. Like we're looking at the countryside. Here we have a guy out hunting, killing these animals. I don't know, are they ermine? And then a guy with the ermine over the back of a donkey, taking him somewhere. And can you see that he is wearing what I think looks like a Altakapu tunic? And so again, probably another influence from here in this case, from the Americas. That scene, by the way, would have been on the woman's side of the screen. So women would have sat on that side. And then the final thing to note about content is that up at the top of the screen, and this is very Japanese as well, but you can really see here's some lions. And each of the lions has suspended from it a swag of like flowers, it looks like, and ribbon, this red ribbon. But that also could have been or was seen in Rome. Here is an animal head, and hanging from the animal head is this fruit, swag, and ribbon from Rome. So we have this real merging synthesis of cultures from Europe with the artists in Mexico, the art form coming from Japan. So that's the screen with the Siege of Belgrade and hunting scene